Hi guys, welcome back to the Bull Talks with Big Jim podcast.
Guess what, motherfucker?
Some of the information you are about to hear, some may find disturbing.
I don't know who gave them this or who gave them the clearance.
Going down on a guy sticking your finger up his ass.
Can we Google that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I fucking stumbled down a dark hole, and I love it.
Great keg parties. If I'm gonna believe anybody's bullshit, I'm gonna believe mine.
Alrighty, and welcome back to the podcast. If no one has noticed other than myself, this guy's screen is so much more clear.
I got a new phone.
Dude,
Grandpa Trump's stimulus check.
That's good. That's good. Hey, at least it's helping to doing something, right?
Yep. Well,
all right.
Trying to push another one, so.
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of phone you got, but whatever it is, we should ask if they could sponsor us, because that is a damn good. It's clearer than mine.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's fucking. The only thing I still want, it's still too fast. It's a 5G.
Whoa! I think I'm still on 4G LTE.
I have four options: Wi-Fi, 3 2G, 3 4G, 3 4 5G. And I can pick through all of them. Yeah.
Holy shit!
That's as far as I got, though. I haven't. I mean, this thing is.
What kind of? So what kind of? Is it the iPhone? What is it?
No, it's called the P8. 1+8. It's the newest model T, and like I said, it has a four ROM thing inside of it.
Really?
So processes four ROM processor. Yeah, like a computer.
Holy shit!
The camera is offset. The original one, the camera used to pop up off the top, but now they've done some adjustments, and this was already inset inside the housing. It's got the infinity screen, so it rolls over on both sides.
Wow.
Yeah, I went and got it today. And like I said, I switched over from our other account to this, and then I didn't realize it didn't have headphone jacks, and so I'm on my Bluetooth, so hopefully you can get clarity.
I hear you perfect.
I'm picking up the Wi-Fi because we have a bad Wi-Fi interference. So right now I'm picking it up quick.
Yeah, it's clear, and I'm downstairs compared to the last one. So the Wi-Fi for both of us is about to be great.
There you go.
All right. Well, if it wasn't made clear, we're gonna be talking about this young person right there and right there.
That's the same person?
You're gonna learn real fast.
Damn, dude, she looks like Nosferatu.
She does, right?
Yeah. That's the same person up there?
We're gonna get to it.
Glasses? All right, dude.
All right. So I've been waiting to do this.
All right, I'm clueless, so I'm going in blind.
Yeah, this one was a part of that 3-2-1 option that I told you to pick. So this would be number 2, or in our case, episode 15. This is going to be about the Mauerova family.
Mauerova family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Now, first and foremost, this person is not to get mixed up with another person who became somewhat famous, definitely internet famous. This person is not to be confused with Natalia Grace. Natalia Grace is from the Ukraine, and she posed as a 16-year-old child in an orphanage.
I know.
And then it came up on Dr. Phil that she was scamming people.
Yeah.
So
but she was also a dwarf, right?
She has a type of dwarfism, yes.
Yeah. But don't look like her.
Is not to get confused with Natalia. This person, I will reveal their name shortly.
Their name? She got multiple?
You'll see.
All right.
Now, Natalia's story, it started off with her scamming people. She just wanted to come to the U.S. she wanted to become a U.S. citizen, like everybody on the 90 Day Fiance show. She just wanted to
I
be a
don't watch that
U.S. citizen.
show.
You don't watch that show?
I don't watch that show.
You're slipping, dude. You are slipping. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Coors Light.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I have water. Thanks.
It's
Didn't
brought
know
to
we
you
were
by
doing a drinking show.
H2O. No, I just found it in the back of the fridge there. It's an old
Well,
one.
I tell you what, I live with 2 alcoholics. There ain't shit in this house. There ain't even vanilla extract.
I don't doubt that. Okay, now to get everything started, the story of this person is the one that actually inspired the movie in 2009 called The Orphanage. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, I'll do a really quick synopsis of it. A girl from the Ukraine, or I believe in the movie, she's from Russia, gets adopted. A secret comes out, and at the end, a bigger reveal is let about. If you haven't seen the movie yet, it's I think it's pretty good. It's interesting. Really, it talks about a horny dwarf, and I'll just leave it at that. So if you get a
This
chance,
girl, she's a
this
dwarf too?
story is the one that inspired that movie.
Okay, so the orphanage is about a horny dwarf.
Basically, I mean, if you
All right.
watch it, that's the whole sum of it. All
All
right.
right. I'll watch
This is
that while your
how
mom's asleep.
this is how this story began. May 2007, in the Czech Republic, there was a man setting up a baby monitor. When he was setting up the baby monitor to watch his new infant son, something else came onto the screen. He had his monitor hooked up to his actual TV screen, so if anything were to happen, like a motion sensor, it'd pop up. Now, what he saw on the screen, one, was not his kid. Two, was a scene that I'm sure he probably has nightmares to this day about. What he saw was another child face down on a black and white, because it was a night vision camera, black and white, with his hands tied behind his back, naked, laying on a concrete floor. The other image that he saw was a hand coming in and feeding that child. After being in total shock of what he saw, the guy started snapping photos really quick to prove, like, hey, I'm not crazy. I'm definitely not trying to peep up on some kids. He then called the police, and then when the police arrived, he said, "This is a short frequency. It's a short frequency, like
Monitor system.
monitor. Yeah, so it has to be in a close confinement in order to pick up the signal."
Okay.
So when the cops arrive, they go and they start investigating the little cul-de-sac that they were in. The town that they were in was called Kerm, Kurim, Kerm, in the Czech Republic. Police, yeah, Kurim.
Okay.
Police searched around. They actually started from what I read. They went from the back of the cul-de-sac all the way back towards his house. They ended up coming to his next door neighbor. They knocked on the door, and they were greeted by, the police came to the door, knocked on the door, and they were greeted by two sisters, 33-year-old Carla Mauerova and 31-year-old Katrina Mauerova. The sisters cooperated with the police and let them investigate. They told them, hey, there's something going on. Ooh, excuse me. There's something going on, and we need to find this kid. There was a report of some possible child abuse. They were totally fine with them coming into the house. They said, all right, if you need to look for anything, no problem. They asked her, are there any other people here? She said, no, it's just my sister and I. She goes to the local university. She sleeps here when she is off of school. Searching around. They go upstairs, come back downstairs. They find nothing. They find no kids whatsoever. As they're getting ready to leave, they end up seeing a door that's padlocked. They're like, hey, what's behind that door? Does that lead down to your cellar? She said, yeah, but we don't go down there. It's really dirty. There's asbestos. There's mold. We're trying to clean everything out. By this time, the women also look really ugly. That's really the only way that I can say it. Their skin isn't very good. They're kind of shaky. And by this time, when they notice the door, they start getting nervous. So as the police were leaving, they noticed a door with a padlock on it. They then questioned Clara, hey, do you mind if we go down to your cellar and investigate what's down there just for safety purposes? It was at this point where the police got a little suspicious because Clara, who was cooperative, said no. She said, no, don't worry about it. It's a little dangerous down there. We have mold, asbestos. Don't even go down there. After refusing and the suspicion heightened more and more and more, they said, okay, well, we need to go check it out anyways. Finally, after some time, they were able to break off the padlock, go downstairs, and if you haven't guessed it by now, they found the boy. The boy was inside of a dog's cage. As a matter of fact, it kind of looked like like the cage that my laptop is currently sitting on. It's 3 feet by 4 feet, and he was laying there naked, covered in his own filth, covered in his own urine. He looked completely dehydrated, malnourished, and had wounds from head to toe. And they even said his hair looked mangy. Come to find out, it wasn't just one boy, it was two. They were brothers.
In the cage?
In the cage.
In the same cage?
Yep. The one that was seen on the screen though was the youngest of the two. When they found the boys, the police even stated that cattle lived better than these two boys. Cattle, cows, farm animals lived better than two human beings.
Okay, Millie's cage is super small.
It's extremely small.
And they both fit in that cage?
They were both inside. They were both young. Well, don't forget, they're dehydrated. They're malnourished. There's little to, they don't look like me. They don't look like us. They ain't got an ounce of fat on them.
How old were they?
One was 8 and one was 10.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Well,
all right.
Keep going. Yeah.
There were actually 3 children down there, 2 of which were in the cage, one being this young gem behind me. Now, for those listening, if you can't see it, there is a collage of pictures of a single girl, one who she kind of looks like the Gypsy Blanche, or Gypsy, the one that killed her mom.
Gypsy
Actually, that'd be a
Rose.
really good episode to talk about too.
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose. Down here,
She looks like Paddington Bear in that one.
Yeah, she does. She has on a blue hat with the bill flipped up, and then the one directly behind me that's black and white, she's completely bald. She looks like Nosferatu. Now we're gonna get to her.
Okay.
But she was down there too. The children's names were Andraj, he was 8 years old, Jakub, 10 years old, and 14-year-old, later to be known, adopted daughter, Anika. Without question, the police came back upstairs, arrested both Clara and Katerina, the sisters, and hauled them to the jail. As far as the 3 children, they were obviously put into what their CPI or CPS is, their own personal child protective services. Now let's get to know the sisters just a little bit more. Clara, according to reports, at a young age, suffered from schizophrenia. Now, if you don't know what schizophrenia is, that is a breakdown in the relation between the thought, emotion, behavior, and leading to faulty perception. Basically, she's mixing shit up in her mind with reality. It's all molding into one. to the point where, as a kid, she would tell people, "I am Jonah. I am very similar to Joan of Arc. I have a divine task in life." This is an exact quote that she told police. Now, the father of the two children, Andrade and Jakub, were not around after Andrade, the 8-year-old, was born shortly after. He said that he could not take the fact that Clara was depressed and progressively becoming agitated towards her two boys. Clara stated she needed help with her kids. In walks younger sister, Katerina. Katerina had no children, but she did have her two nephews. Now, as I said before, Katerina was a university student. Now, when I looked online, everything I found was she was a university student. When I pulled up universities around that area, there were like 9 of them. So I couldn't pinpoint exactly which university that she went to. But in 2005, this is just 2 years before this whole incident began, Katerina met Anne, or Annika, a 12-year-old foreign exchange student from Norway. Now, I don't know exactly how their colleges are in Europe, but I'm pretty sure they can have kids who are smart enough to study on school grounds. Now, some would find a 30-year-old woman hanging out with a 12-year-old girl kind of odd if that's not your own child or niece. But not to the completely sane Clara. She actually thought, oh, this is a very nice girl. And you know what? Like I just said, Clara needed help with her two younger boys. So Katerina came to live with her sister. And she also brought along this young lady, Annika. Clara asked for the friends to help move her in and help, Clara asked for the two to move in, which they obviously did. It was then reported shortly after moving into the home with Clara that Katerina, the younger sister, started to develop her own mental issues. She was starting to get a little fucked up. Now,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I guess if you start living with the person who has schizophrenia or depression or even whatever kind of mental illness, they start feeling it too. I'm assuming.
Oh, you can feed off their endorphins.
Yeah. So that's the story of those two. They are sisters. They moved in 2 years before any of this happened, and Katerina brought Annika to live with them as well. Now, according to, go ahead.
I'm just saying the two older sisters, the younger sister brought the girl behind you. The girl behind you is the third person that was in the cellar with the two boys.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
I just noticed I keep touching my nose a lot. I don't know why.
Got long nose hair?
No, I think it's the I just realized my beard hair right here, it goes into my mouth like this. It doesn't even grow out. It just grows into my mouth. So I'll be talking and I'll go like this. But so I have to keep combing it down. Okay. Bless you. I actually have some pomade because this stuff ain't looking too well either. All right.
I had to go to San Ramon to get a haircut.
San Ramon?
Yeah, dude. That's as far as I had to go to get a haircut.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So good luck.
Well, I cut my hair last time, so I'm going to try it again. I don't know if it'll be good, but I'm going to try it out. Okay.
Thank God for that.
Let's talk about this young lady here.
Yeah.
This is Annika. Now, again, according to reports and everything that I've looked up, every YouTube video that I watched, every podcast that I listened to, she was just known as Annika. I did not get a last name. If someone knows this story and knows the last name of Annika, please chime in, send us an email, or even send us a message on Instagram at Botox with Big Jim podcast? Because honestly, I would like to know what her last name is. All I got was Anika. Now, this story is even crazier than the one that I just told. Anika told Katerina that she was on the run from a sex trafficking gang from Norway. Apparently, she was a part of that sex trafficking group and she was able to break out of it. Anika painted a story telling Katerina that she had a number of health issues ranging from cancer to kidney failure to even going blind. Now, I bring that up because there's another part that I'm going to be into that ties all of that into it as well,
Okay.
on top of the sex trafficking thing. Now, from your perspective, and I would like to know what you think, and it's not a topic that we've actually discussed, but based on the pictures that you see behind me, does this person resemble or have any markings of a person who may have been in a sex trafficking ring?
No. I mean, she looks like a college student in one. She looks like somebody working out in the other one. Then she looks like Paddington Bear on the lower left, and then she looks like Nosferatu, the vampire. So I mean, no. I mean, I'm glad there isn't a typical picture of a sex traffic victim.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
She
But
just looks sick.
she looks like something's wrong with her, right? She looks really pale. If you look at all the pictures, she looks pale. She looks really, really pale. And in this one, I don't know if you can tell or not, but she's definitely losing some of her hair.
She losing it or pulling it out?
I don't know, but it's some of it's starting to go.
It's gone.
Yeah. Now, well, hearing all these issues about Katerina, hearing all these issues about Anika, Katerina told her sister Clara. Clara then made the executive decision, you know what? She's on the run. She's from Norway, living in the Czech Republic with no family, by the way. No one's living there with her. She's just by herself. She's like, you know what? I'm going to adopt this 12-year-old girl. You are going to be a part of this family. You got 2 kids. She's 12.
She was 12.
Yeah, I did.
Wait a minute. So she got from Norway to the Czech Republic, escaped the sex trafficking ring, or who knows how long she was in it, traveled to another country at 12.
12.
Okay, that's got to be another backstory to that, but that alone is out of this world. But go ahead.
I'm getting to it. Trust me, I had to go back and take out a little bits and pieces here and there because I felt like I was rambling, and then I'm just building it. I'm building it, building it, and building it. So just get ready because shit's about to hit the fan pretty soon.
Yeah, well,
Very soon. So she ends up adopting young 12-year-old Anika into the Mauerova family. Now, during this time, Clara wanted to get an understanding of all of her health issues, like I said, ranging from cancer. Cancer? I'm sounding like a Wisconsin person. They got cancer? Her name's Katrina?
Don't you know?
Don't ya know? Oh, dude, Fargo is one of the best movies. Okay. So she then was able to have Anika because she came forward and said, hey, you know what? Let me get my the phone number for my doctor. My doctor has all my medical information. If you have any questions whatsoever, just ask. Ask this doctor. No one knows the name of the doctor. They have a phone number, had a phone number. And according to Clara's police report, because don't forget, she's in the interrogation room. Whew, that was a bad burp. Explaining everything to the police and why her 3 children were downstairs. Clara found out that Anika had a doctor, but Clara called the doctor a, quote, shady doctor. The reason why she called him a shady doctor is because she met the doctor one time only. She met the doctor one time only at night, and she met the doctor one time only with no lights anywhere near or on in his vehicle. To put it in today's perspective, your DoorDash order pulls up to your house, no lights on the car, no lights on the inside of the car. It's at night, and on top of that, you had to text the doctor to get a hold of him. Not a phone call. You text.
That sounds like the weed man.
Right? Now, one of the main treatments that was texted, like I said, to Clara, and I'm telling you, the story just gets crazier and fucking nuttier by the second. One of the treatments was prescribed to rub Anika's body for no less than 1 hour with a focus on the crotch. Right there. Yep. Just get in between the thighs there, just doing little motions here. Just focus like that.
And a little to the right.
A little to the left, a little to the right. Wiggle your fingers around.
Right.
Right? Tell me this story isn't crazy. Just so far.
The doctor's telling her stepmom, her adopted mom, that that's what she needs to be done to her.
Correct, because it will help with her cancer. It will help with her blindness. It will help with her liver problems. A focus on the crotch. Right there. I swear to God, if that shit can cure diabetes, sign me up right now. All right. Now,
okay.
The side effect, quote, side effect, this would make
not much
Anika,
of a side effect.
The side effect is that it would make her calm. It'd make her a little more relaxed. I don't know any person in this world, I don't give a shit how old you are. Anyone's rubbing it between your legs, you might get a little relaxed afterwards, okay?
I call that going to sleep right after.
After you finish one of these. Again, brought to you by Coors Light.
I don't even need one of those in my old age.
All right. After the sisters were arrested, started on that one pretty good. It actually turned out, and like I said, buckle up because this story just only gets crazier. It actually turned out that Anika was actually 31-year-old Barbara Skrylova. I'm gonna let that sink in. I'm gonna let that sink in.
The Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
31-year-old fucking nut job.
Was she small?
She suffered from hypopituitarism. I should have hyphenated it so I could not sound ridiculous saying it. Hypopituitarism. Hypopituitarism.
Which means what?
Which means is a diminished hormone by the pituitary gland causing dwarfism in children and premature aging in adults.
Wait a minute. Read that again? Read that again?
This is a diminished hormone by the pituitary gland causing dwarfism in children and a premature aging in adults.
So there was no hormone. There was no.
She had a diminished hormone, so it was lack thereof.
So how tall did she get? Did she look like a 12-year-old?
She looked like a 12-year-old. The tallest that she got was no bigger than your youngest son, maybe a little bit shorter.
He's 5'7" now.
Yeah, she wasn't tall.
Okay, I'm talking small, like small.
Well, according to
was she over 5 foot?
This picture right here, she's under the armpit of Clara. That's the armpit of. So maybe she was probably a whole foot smaller, maybe like a whole 4'7", maybe 4 foot. I'd say.
I thought she had her head up on something like a rock or something.
No,
Okay, so
she's
she was
like this. Like if this was
a
my,
form.
yeah, like that.
She was stunted growth.
Stunted growth. She has fucked up hormones, which probably could actually lead to some liver issues. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
What about maturity? Was she mature? Did she act of her age or no?
No, that's how she was able to get people. She acted like a 12-year-old girl. Now, some people did find it odd because not every 12-year-old, because she also went to school with 12-year-olds. She fooled Clara, the adopted mom, into saying, yeah, this is my 12-year-old daughter. Go to school, hang out with other 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids, boys and girls. And teachers are like, you sure? Because she wasn't acting like a 12-year-old kid.
Okay, so was she part of a sex traffic ring?
That, in the words of Maury Povich, was a lie.
Okay. Wasn't
Okay,
from
now hold on.
country she said.
As like I said, just strap up. Strap up, strap in. It only gets crazier.
Don't have to. I'm married.
She fooled people into acting like a 12-year-old girl. She dressed like a 12-year-old girl. She even taped her breasts flat to her chest to appear to be flat-chested like a 12-year-old girl.
No, that's called a 12-year-old boy.
Or boy. It was later revealed that by Clara, that Barbara, Anika at this time, wasn't getting along with her two children, Jakub and Andraj. They would always argue, they'd fight, they'd push each other. I mean, really, things that you would think that kids would be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out much more sinister. Much more sinister. Now, if it wasn't crazy enough that the doctor prescribed to rub the crotch area of Anika, Clara then thought, you know what? This guy's a doctor. Maybe he can help with some behavioral problems with my two boys. Let me shoot him a quick text. His prescription for the two boys was to, quote, cleanse their spirits and then assist in raising them and treating Anika properly. The recommended treatments for the boys was child abuse, literally. Clara, physical child abuse. Clara and Katerina would use belts, wooden spoons, bare hands, and even at nighttime would, or for multiple hours, would lock both of the boys in closets overnight. Now, just hearing that part, that kind of sounds a little bit like my childhood. I got my ass hit with a belt. I got my ass hit with barehanded. My mom shot me in the leg with a fucking BB gun and threw a crutch at me. I think these boys had it good, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, you were safe.
Yeah.
You went through growing pain.
I had it fucking great compared to these two boys. And this.
Okay, so hang on. So their mother was the oldest of the two sisters.
Their mother was the oldest of the two sisters, Clara. Katerina was 31 years old.
So she was older than both them in the first place.
She was older, yeah. This person behind me, for those listening, there, like I said, there's a collage of 4 pictures, was older than the woman that she's resting her head on right now.
All right. Well, at some point, you're going to tell me how they really came across and met each other, right?
That's how they met each other. We're not going to get to the point why that kid was on that TV screen.
No, wait a minute. How did they meet each other?
Who?
The girl behind you, the 12-year-old midget, and then the younger sister.
I just explained. You didn't listen to that?
No. Okay, so that what you said, her story was, this is where I came from, but it was all a lie.
That was all a lie. Yes.
Okay, so where did they meet? In school?
Yes,
Out in
that's
the
where they
yard?
met. They met at the university, and like I said, there's multiple universities around that town that they were living in. But they were
Okay, but for
both
a 12-year-old,
right, and
he's that smart.
that's why I said I don't know what the foreign exchange program is like
Okay,
in
okay,
Europe, but that is where they met was at the university.
okay. Now
Okay.
I'm on track. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, dude, you're not even drinking yet. You should drink some
No,
more water.
no. I'm just making sure that I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything that we just received, but I just wanted. Basically, she walked up to her like a stray dog and said, "This is what's wrong with me.
Pretty
I'm going to
much.
adopt you. No
They
problem." Okay.
pretty much.
And where
Yeah,
were these two boys' dad?
that's
Same
what I
dad?
said.
No.
Damn, you ain't listening at all today, man.
No, you said that the dads weren't in their lives. That nothing
Right.
came up for the
After
dads and
after the second boy. Oh, wait. Katerina and Katrina's dead?
yeah, their parents. What
Or
happened to their
Clara?
parents?
I didn't read
Okay,
anything about them.
okay, that's
The
what I'm talking about.
grandparents.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Okay,
read anything about grandparents. I didn't find
all right.
anything out about
I'll
grandparents.
stop interrupting. Keep going.
No worries. I just want to make sure that you got it so far.
Oh yeah, I'm on top.
So, just for a recap so far for everyone listening or even watching, a boy was seen on a baby monitor locked in a cage. Police were called. They found two boys locked in a cage, naked and dehydrated and malnourished. A third child was also in that cellar. That child ended up being her name being Anika. Then come to find out she was a 31-year-old imposter named Barbora Skrylova. The two sisters of one of the sisters of the two boys, being their mother, was Clara Mauerova, and her sister was also a part of this. Her name was Katerina Mauerova. Now, the prescribed treatments, like I said, were physical abuse to these two boys to then let them be more kind to her, to Barbora. Now, that was just the tip of the iceberg. And if you know anything about icebergs, the tip is just 90. There's 10% of what you see. And like I said, it only gets worse. In fact, it gets so worse that it involves torture. Barbora was the newest member of the Mauerova family, and one of the one with the most issues, I would say, both literally and figuratively. Later, it was revealed by both sisters, Clara and Katerina, that Barbora was able to manipulate them into doing all of these acts. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, what are some of the acts that they did to the boys? It included dunking their heads inside of water while tying their hands behind their back, burning the boys with lit cigarettes on areas, and this will get graphic, so fair warning to everyone watching and or listening. They will put out lit cigarettes on their chest, arms, legs, eyelids, and the anus. They would then whip them with lamp cords, rope, and even metal hangers. Kind of like in the first Halloween movie when Laurie Strode takes off the metal hanger and pokes Michael Myers in the face. They would whip them with those. They would then cut their backs with forks. They even sexually assaulted them. The mother would sexually assault her own children with foreign objects. It was even reported that Andraj, the 8-year-old, had part of his buttocks literally cut off, part of his forearm cut off, and was then force-fed to him.
What?
Clara and Katerina would also eat parts of the younger boy as well. Barbora also helped with the torture of the boys, but left most of it to the sisters. Kind of like a little puppet master, right? Hey, you guys go do this. I'll probably whip him 1 or 2 times, but then you guys do the rest of it. Now, are you ready for another twist? just a little bit of a twist?
I got questions. Go ahead.
Well, after this, I'll stop and then we
Okay.
can discuss. That little twist is that Barbara was even able to convince two of Clara's friends to join in on the torture. These two people were known as Hannah Basrova. She was also known as Auntie Nancy, and Jan Turkek. Turkek.
And they were adults too.
They were all adults.
And this twisted lady behind you convinced 4 adults, along with the incognito doctor, to torture these kids.
Yes.
As a treatment for curing them of whatever. So there's nothing wrong with these kids.
Nothing wrong with these kids whatsoever.
Just born to a really twisted mom. Okay. I'm sure you're going to get to the point, but why was she down in the basement locked up?
She was down there because she wanted to watch them. That was her fix, her kink, whatever, is that she got that baby monitor was her idea to watch the boys. That hand that reached in and fed them was her hand. She was physically feeding them pieces of bread, little pieces of meat here and there.
Okay, well, she's in the same room. Why does she need a monitor?
Because when she wasn't in there, she wanted to watch them. She just wanted to see them, to have power over them.
She was free to roam around the house.
She was free to roam. She can go wherever the fuck she wanted.
So why was she locked? Did they lock her in there when they noticed the police were there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because they didn't want anyone to be found out. They didn't want anyone to find out that any of this was happening. And even having, I'm assuming that Clara, the mom, assumed that if the police came in and saw, hey, my 13-year-old daughter's here too, that they may ask, hey, do you know of any of these younger boys, kind of mangy hair, it looks like this, looks like that. So she said, you know what, just go downstairs, stay with them. We'll send them out. When they're done, we'll let you back up.
Okay. That was my biggest question as you were reading. So she basically went and retrieved herself from the situation, tried to play incognito herself. Police didn't go for it. They found all 3 of them. Now they arrested the sisters. Okay, go.
Now this is after the baby monitor. After the police found the 2 young boys, all of the children, like I said, were placed in foster care or their own CPS. This also included Anika, the 31-year-old Barbara, as no one knew that she was in on these crimes at this time. They just knew that 3 children were locked downstairs. We need to get them to safety as fast as possible.
So she convinced them to be quiet about that too, huh?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's a master manipulator, dude. I'm telling you. Later, during interviews, it was found out that Anika ran away from one of the orphanages. So Barbara is now on the loose again. Come to find out, Barbara actually ran away to Denmark for some time. It was not specified as for what reason, but she went from the Czech Republic to Denmark before making her way back home to Norway, where she was a part of a sex trafficking ring. That's really hard to say when you got a little bit of booze in you. She went from the 12-year-old Anika girl to the she went from Anika, the 12-year-old girl from Norway, to Adam.
What?
The 13-year-old boy from the Ukraine, who was then picked up and sent to yet another orphanage in Norway. So this picture here
Yeah.
And this picture here
Yeah.
is Adam. This is Anika. This is Adam. They are all Barbora Skorlova.
Okay.
Now, for everyone who's not seeing this, the two pictures that are on top are the younger girl, Anika, with glasses and longer hair. The two on the bottom, one of them actually looks like a cancer patient, if you ask me, the Paddington Bear.
The two
And
on the bottom.
Nosferatu is actually Adam. Now, these are both aliases that she was able to create in her own twisted mind. She went as far as shaving her head, like in this picture here, and gaining a few pounds of weight to appear as a, quote, chunky boy. A few weeks later, I'm telling you, dude, this story is nuts. And when I first heard it, I was like, this can't be fucking real. It's real. It's documented everywhere. And I even looked up on two, and I don't even know if I was supposed to do it because I was doing it at my job. But I pulled up two Czech Republic websites, and I had to switch all the text. And I mean, I broke through a firewall, you can say. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hack anything. I just looked it up, and it pulled up two Czech Republic articles. After a few weeks of being in the orphanage, Adam also went missing. He disappeared from that orphanage. Adam seemed to be acting odd with the other students or children in the orphanage, as some of the employees there would say, refusing to join in on any sports activities involving physical contact or afterwards in the showers. Why would a young boy, other than being insecure, refuse on any sports or refuse to go take a shower afterwards? If your Johnson's smaller than a fucking cricket's, that's fine. But if you ain't got one and you're posing as a boy, there might be an issue there, especially with this backstory. Once it was found out that this person, because eventually what the orphanage did is they put out flyers saying, hey, if you see this young boy, Adam, which, oh, by the way, again, no last name. There was Anika and Adam and no last names. They put up flyers saying, have you seen this young boy? If you see this young boy, contact this number. If you see this young boy, boy, flyers everywhere. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, a bystander sees a flyer, sees Adam pulling money out of a bank, ATM, and calls the local police. Barbora, Adam, Anika, maintained that she had no part of any of this story that I'm telling you right now. She is not a part of any torture. She is not a part of any sexual abuse, any physical abuse, or even fucking cannibalism. She was like, that's not me. I don't even know who you guys are talking about. I'm Nosferatu. I ain't got no fucking hair. You guys got the wrong one.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I'm almost there. Almost there. Hold
Okay.
your questions. I got I got six more lines.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All of the women, after a long trial, were sentenced to prison, including 31-year-old Barbora Skorlova. Can you guess? Now just guess the prison time that each one of them got, from Clara, the mom, the adopted mom, Katerina, the aunt, and Barbora. How many years did each woman get?
A year. I don't even know. I mean, I wouldn't know what the statute. Well, I guess
Statutes
nothing
of
ran out.
limitation?
Yeah. But what I meant was their judicial system. I wouldn't know. A year.
A year is actually a lot. That is low, but I wouldn't be surprised either. What I found was Clara got 9 years in prison. Katerina got 10 years in prison. Barbora, basically the fucking ringleader of this whole thing, got 5 years. 5 years. However, just 2.5 years later into her 5-year sentence, after a long drawn-out debate from her attorney saying she has psychological conditions that are not being cared to in the prison system, Barbora was released from prison and was granted 5 years probation. So she only did half of her sentence to begin with. She only did 2.5 years.
So she's out.
She's out. And every person is alive, by the way, and she is 100% out in the Czech Republic. However, since her release, a nonprofit organization known as the Solomon has assisted with Barbora, everyday life. So basically, they're just helping. They're basically being the witness protection program. She got her name changed. She changed the way she looks. And when I pull up more pictures on Instagram, you are gonna shit bricks at what she looks like. She looked in one of the pictures like your middle child about 10 years ago. Puffy ass hair and chunky ass face.
So she's free, being taken care of, through a welfare system,
Mm-hmm.
and a witness for relocation, new
Mm-hmm.
life, new identity. But is she being monitored?
No.
So they don't know what this broad's doing again.
Nope. They don't even know if she's alive. The last thing I saw is that she was able to get out, be on probation, and she only needed to be on probation for 5 years. So if you count from 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, she's been out of the system now
8 years.
for 8 years. A lot of shit can happen in 8 years.
And where are the two sisters at?
The two sisters were also, they completed all of their prison time, and now they are also living in the Czech Republic. They are being monitored because they, quote unquote, committed the acts.
Okay, it's twisted. Where are the kids?
The two boys are now in their 20s, also one living in Europe, one living in the northern part of Asia. They're both in their 20s now, like I said, and they're just living normal lives. From what I've seen, they have jobs, they're working, they have relationships. I don't know if they have any children, but the scars are there. The physical scars and the psychological scars will be with them two boys until the day that they leave this earth.
So a chunk of his ass is still missing, didn't grow back. Part of his arm, the cigar burns on the eyelids. All that shit. Are there pictures of them currently? Like a current picture?
I did not find any. I looked as hard as I could, and I didn't find any. All I found were the pictures of the guy that brought up this entire issue are pictures on the TV screen. Those are the only ones that I've seen. And then the one that I posted today on the Instagram stories, again, if you haven't checked it out, at Botox with Big Jim podcast, there is a picture of Clara with a woman in uniform being hauled out of a courtroom. Just behind her is Katerina. Those are the only two pictures. Well, that's the only modern picture that I've seen of anybody since all of this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Mauerova family.
Okay, so why is it called the Mauerova family?
Because that's their last name, Clara
I know,
Mauerova.
but they didn't do anything. They were conned by this girl.
Right, but because she was adopted into the Mauerova name, that is the case, the twisted and sick case of the Mauerova family.
So there's pictures of the kid that was chained up, being hand-fed naked on the internet.
Yes, and I will pull them up, and I'll block out parts of them. But yes.
Oh yeah. Where is this girl's family from?
Nobody knows. No one even knows how she got to the university that Katerina was going to. No one knows where she came up with this sex trafficking story. No
So
one really
what? I
knows
mean,
anything
so it's a
about this.
possibility. It's true that she was some sort of captured person,
Possibility, sure.
tortured psychologically, and she doesn't. You don't know if she's still alive.
I have no clue. Everything that I found was that she got out of prison 2.5 years in, and that was that.
And this just happened 12 years ago.
Yep. And this just happened and inspired the movie 2 years after all of this happened, The Orphan.
Does it follow the actual storyline?
No.
No.
I kind of,
Okay.
somewhat.
This actually sounds like an episode from Law and Order too.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Law and Order got some crazy ass stories.
Yeah, the girl, she
But
was older.
in the movie, this couple, actually one of them being, have you seen Conjuring?
Yeah.
The one that plays Lorraine Warren. She's in all of the scary movies now. I can't think of her name.
Vera Farmiga.
Her. She is in The Orphanage. Actually, no, it's a different dad. Or a different actor. But she is the mother who ends up having like a miscarriage, or they somehow lose one of their kids, and they go and look for another daughter or another kid, and they find a girl, and it just fucking snowballs into a crazy ass story.
Okay, I've seen that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've always passed that movie thinking, I don't want to watch it.
It's a weird movie to begin with. It's very, honestly, I'll put it to you this way. The way it's shot, not shot, but the way it's like told or whatever, like the story itself, you're like, there's no way, one, that someone can just think of this. Like, who thinks of a girl who's actually a fucking 31-year-old woman doing X, Y, and Z to these people in the movie? When really, 2 years prior, there's a 31-year-old woman eating some fucking booty cheeks, and not in the good way.
Well, if there's a good way to eat booty cheeks, bro.
From what I've seen on the internet, man, there's this.
No, I'm not surprised with it. Trust me, I pull shit up for Mom all the time because she doesn't believe me. I tell her just say a word into Google and some website will pop up. Yeah, and
You should tell her to search lemon party.
no, that's all right. She might get stuck on that like she is on TikTok.
That's yeah. I told you, dude, that TikTok shit is crazy, and I still watch that guy John Ballin. That's a creepy shit to be watching. He has a whole YouTube page too.
Yeah, I've been watching some of. I've been following some of his posts too, but I still got quiet. I'm gonna have to do some research on this.
Well, what questions do you think that I can maybe answer?
I want to know who her parents were.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
So do
she
I.
came from somewhere. She wasn't.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Like I said, everything that I pulled up, and that's kind of the issue that I've been having doing some of this research, is I'll look up. But
why are they protecting her? Why is this organization protecting her? She must be somebody.
I don't know. I don't know if she's somebody. I don't know if she's just a master fucking manipulator. I don't know. I really don't.
So that would make her 31, 8, 12, 30. She's 45 years old right now.
Yep. Yeah. If she ain't dead.
Well, why would she wasn't a drug addict, right?
Not that I saw, not that I read.
Yeah, this one's got. And them two boys are alive and well.
Alive and well. Living, doing their thing, working.
And the man who found them is still alive. And did they ever meet each other?
Nope. They'd never met each other. From what I read. But like I was just saying, everything that I find from any one of these stories, and I still got a few of them coming up. The next one is a pretty interesting one too. It's a Bob Ross lookalike, but he
I've seen that
same
picture.
thing. You know, when I search all of these names, and I'm just going through the internet just saying crazy true crime story, like very vague, and crazy shit pops up, but they give you each story from the most recent time, like an update of this case or the most recent update of that case. So like most of the articles that I found were from 2020 now, from probably 2 to 3 years ago. And it's just telling the story. It's not really giving you an update other than, oh, hey, she got out of prison. She's on probation.
So you don't know if anybody's tried following up, make a documentary.
Not that I know of. Actually, that'd be
The
good
boys, the boys'
to look
names
up.
are changed. I mean, that is the last Monrovia. It's obviously a name of a family. So it's got to be, unless they change the boys. I'm just curious. I have a lot of curious questions. I would like to know what happened to the boys, the guy who found them. How'd she get away by conning them 2 other adults? Who are her parents? Where'd she come from? Where's she at now? Who the fuck is taking care of her and why?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Crazy story, though.
Nah. Yeah, it is. It's a little twisted. It's one of them like, what the fuck's wrong with this world? But then again,
Dude, I'm telling you, and I'll show you the list when I turn everything off. There's stories upon story. There's one story that I really, really want to talk about. And I don't know if I want to just have you and I on, or if I want to have a third person on. But there's a story. I don't even want to say where it's at, but it's here in California. I will say that. There's a story in California that happened fairly recently, within the last decade, two decades maybe, that to this day has been searched far less than another case, has not been solved, and in my opinion is probably one more gruesome and more nerve-wracking and more upsetting than the other. But but it's one that I really want to take my time on. And like I said, I don't know if I want to have just you and I, which I think I do, because you and I have really good chemistry when it comes to certain topics like that. But it's also of another Hispanic Latin woman, and I'll just leave it at that.
oh, so you can't just leave it like that because I'm curious and I want to know.
Then after Bob Ross, we can talk about her. Actually, after Bob Ross, I do want to switch it up just a little bit.
Okay.
And I kind of want to go. I kind of want to take a step back from true crime, and I want to go to the sky. I want to explore the stars. So I got 2 stories that I found recently. One of them is actually really old. I mean, they're both kind of old. Both being in California. Actually, now that I think about it, one is probably to date, some say, one of the best known about alien abduction stories ever.
Okay.
And the other, and I'll leave it on this, and I know you'll know what I'm talking about, is a battle that happened.
Oh,
Don't say
LA.
anything.
Oh,
Don't say anything. But a battle that happened.
Okay.
So after Bob Ross, I kind of want to go and explore the extraterrestrial.
Okay.
And I
All right,
definitely
that's
want to have someone on to get excuse me, get creepy, get spooky with.
You keep doing shit like that in someone's ear, yeah, it's gonna be creepy.
So, what'd you think? Crazy story, interesting story.
Yeah,
How do you
dude,
feel?
I want to watch that movie. I mean, it reminds me of an episode of Law and Order. It also reminds me of another con artist So I'm more, and one of them had to come from. This is too new for the other one to exist. So it must be two different cons. But how that's what's intriguing to me. How somebody who is so fucking broken or pretend to be broken can manipulate a family into doing something. What was wrong with them to believe her? To
Don't
be
forget
there
that's
to
one of them.
okay,
One of them
who's
had.
the doctor? Who's
Oh yes, that's a good question, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't talk about it earlier. Come to find out, that shady doctor all along was Barbara herself.
so she was telling him to just play with me while it makes me feel better and go to sleep.
Well, don't forget, she posed as a boy at one point in time. So when she met this doctor late at night with Anika not there,
Yeah.
this person drives up or meets her in a car or outside of a car and says, listen,
She
you need
didn't
to
do anything with them two boys, did she?
uh,
Sexually?
no, that was only the mom and the aunt.
Yeah, this is look. I want to look into this one. I'm serious. I really want to look. I want to go into a couple of websites that I found. Look
Well,
it up.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we were able to do this. Sorry it's so late for recording.
I'm like I got shit to do.
All right, so thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next week about the Bullseye Killer.